All right, House of Payne fans, we are back with season 10. Man, oh man, I'm sorry. Look, this is one of those episodes that has me mad, so just be aware. Season 10, episode 9, Me Against the World. This was a good episode, but I didn't really like the episode. I know that sounds like, yeah, this is going to be one of those reviews, guys. So let me pull myself together. A lot of things in this episode happened that I thought would happen, but I hoped wouldn't happen, because I did a video yesterday with my promo breakdown for Me Against the World, and if you watched that, then for the most part I was kind of on the money about what actually happened. So before moving forward, I have to say, while it was a good episode, I really didn't like certain things about it, but I'm still going to give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't terrible, but once I get into it, hopefully you'll see where I'm coming from with this. So before moving forward, I have to say it is still alarming that only not even barely over 25% of the viewers on the channel are subscribed. So to the other 70+% of the people watching this video who haven't subscribed, please do, so we can get these numbers up. It really will help the channel. Not only will it get me closer to 200,000 subscribers, but it will also make the percentages look better to the YouTube algorithm. So hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. But let's get into it, because let me just give you like the brief breakdown of what happened in the episode, because I got a lot to say. I'm going to try not to do any like breakaway videos. I want this video to encompass it all. Alright, so Me Against the World, the synopsis pretty much said what it was. A surprise guest crashes the Payne's family game night. You know, there are two storylines going on in the episode. CJ is being dragged on the internet by somebody called Keeping It Real 227 in regard to the fire department not being able to successfully put out a fire in an apartment complex. And CJ thinks Floyd is the person online dragging him. But in reality, he just messed up CJ's new leaf blower. Then on the main story, it's Ella planning a family fun night. Oh yeah, that's right. It's family fun night with House of Payne and assisted living, but she wants to plan a fun family event. I see what you did there. Family game night at her and Curtis's place. Everybody's there. Miranda shows up. Didn't know about it. It causes awkward tension, and then we have probably one of the most infuriating scenes towards the end of the episode. Like I said in the promo breakdown, they're probably going to make Calvin look like a jackass, make him look like he's in the wrong. But I have to say, Miranda was fully in the wrong. And the ending made me so mad, because Laura had no reason at all to apologize. She didn't. If nothing else, Miranda should have apologized to her and Calvin. And Ella, to me, and I was reading some comments on Instagram, because on Instagram some people post clips from the episodes. Somebody's like, see, this crap right here, I feel like Ella likes Miranda, or feels more sensitive towards her feelings than Calvin, just like in early House of Payne, where it seemed like Ella wanted to help out Janine more than even considering what it meant to CJ. So let me go ahead. I'll keep things structured at first. Like let me go ahead and do my standard breakdown, which you're used to, and then I'll go in. All right, so Ella wakes up Floyd, who's sleeping in the backyard. He's trying to fix up the lawn, and she wants to plan a family fun event. Calvin drops by to get a pie that Ella baked to give over to CJ, and they brainstorm ideas, but Ella's ideas mainly have to do with charity and church. Oh, why don't we all come together to watch a documentary on Southern, Baptist churches and whatnot, or deliver food to the homeless? But then she gets the idea, how about a game night at the house? Sounds good. All right, so it turns out that Floyd messed up CJ's new leaf blower, and he wants to try to do something about it before it's returned to him. And he notices there's a person online who's bashing CJ after an apartment fire that happened about a week ago, keeping it real 227, and he has like 1,000 followers. And then they kind of joke about how CJ gave prayer hands to one of the replies, and like, okay, CJ must be above all that. He left a couple mean face emojis, and that was it. So it looks like Lisa, CJ, and Malik are watching a childbirthing video, and Calvin comes over to tell CJ about the family game night, and apparently CJ's crew failed to put out the fire, and that's why he's being dragged online. And CJ mentions how they weren't supposed to be prayer hands. It's like, you're going to get these hands if you keep talking smack about me online. And Calvin, explains how he'll look into it to see if they can find out who this person really is and, the source of everything going on. And mentions how Floyd has like a secret identity online, so keeping it real must have one too, to hide who they really are while they go about trolling people. And then, CJ has it in his mind that Floyd could be keeping it real 227. So we fast forward to game night. Ella, Floyd, CJ, Malik, Lisa, Laura, Calvin, having a good time. I think they're playing, I don't know the name of the game, I forgot. It's like basically have a giant, notepad, and they're like drawing clues, and it's up to like their team to determine what it is before the clock runs out. So Miranda comes in and, hey family, and then she's like, oh, you're having family game night without me? So in my mind, I'm thinking that she had, based on the way she acted, she had food. She had zero clue about the family game night. She just made a innocent visit over to the house, and she was actually returning Ella's casserole dish, which she actually fixed banana pudding in for Ella. So Calvin, Floyd, and Ella go into the kitchen, and Calvin doesn't want her here. And he asked his mom, hey, did you know anything about this? Did you call her? Did you text her? Did you email her? Ella says she did none of the above. She showed up randomly. But she said two things that had me like, you know what? Maybe she did do it. Because she's like, well, she had banana pudding, your favorite. And I'm like, it just so happens that Miranda shows up with Calvin's favorite dish, and wasn't it established in season 9 that she really couldn't cook like that unless she had some tips from Ella off screen? Not to mention, Calvin went down a list of various forms of communication, and Ella said, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. And I'm like, Ella probably sent a smoke signal. Like, I want to give Ella the benefit of the doubt, but based on plenty of things in season 9, it definitely appears like Ella is still more so on Miranda's side than Calvin's side, because he doesn't want to hear Floyd's like, hey, don't look at me, I ain't had nothing to do with this. But I know it's going to be interesting when somebody tells her she has to leave. But then again, it's like, you could either let her stay with the banana pudding or have her leave and not have the banana pudding. Which one you want? But then Ella's like, family is family. Okay. Calvin's like, well, I don't want her and Laura together. Well, I'm just sitting in the middle like a giant black chocolate trophy. And because he knows it's going to be awkward, but then we go right back to family fun night. So it's Miranda's turn at bat. It looks like it's a clue game where, it's all about wordplay, where I have a card with a certain word on it, and I'm giving you clues, and you have to tell me what it is. Miranda seemed to be directly focusing on Calvin because of the fact that she uses a bunch of clues like, oh, we ordered this in a hotel room at 3 a.m. or this thing was, we needed a lot of elbow grease to get out of the carpet. And Calvin is having a good time, gives a fist bump, high five to Miranda, and Laura gets up and walks out, and CJ's like, yeah, your fiance just left, you ought to go after her. So she goes into the kitchen, and Calvin is right behind her. And, he goes in to check in with her because she's like, look, this is so awkward because, I used to be so close to her, used to be so close to her. And I feel like she told all those old stories between the two of you to kind of rub that history in my face. But Calvin's like, no, I'm pretty sure she didn't do it. It's like, yeah, I think she did. So then back to the game night. And with the Beast story, CJ's going in on Floyd, talking about family secrets and selfishness and whatnot. And Floyd's like, what's going on here? Because they chat in the kitchen briefly about karma. And from there, it's revealed that Floyd thinks that CJ knows about the leaf blower situation, but he has no idea that CJ thinks that he's keeping it real 227. So we go back to kind of like charades. Lisa is dancing, and it turns out bed down, get down. I thought that was funny. The bed down, get down. Yeah, me and Malik dance before we get ready for bed. I don't know why, that just made me laugh. So then it's Calvin's turn, and he goes, "You ready, baby?" And Laura and Miranda both say yes at the same time, and then Laura's like, I think he's talking to me, and Miranda mum mouth at that point. She's like, So he's doing the single ladies dance, and it's funny because they know what it is, but they want to keep him dancing just because it's funny, and it really was. So after that, it's Floyd's turn, and CJ just literally rips into him right then and there. And Ella tells Malik and Lisa, "Hey, can you go check on the kids?" So they leave, and it's family meeting time, and Floyd brings up the fact that he messed up the leaf blower, and CJ's shocked because he thought he was the one going at him online. And Calvin and the girls try to leave in the kitchen too, but Calvin's asked to sit down, and strangely enough, Miranda and Laura are left to go into the kitchen together where the knives are. I'm like, nobody's going to try to go in there to moderate those two, because I'm pretty sure the claws might come out. I felt that a bit weird. So anyway, Calvin's like, wait, I didn't snitch on anybody, because that's why Ella wanted him to stay, because Floyd thought that Calvin might have seen the advertisement and coupons for the leaf blower on his tablet when he looked online to see what Keeping It Real 227 was saying. But in reality, he just mentioned Keeping It Real 227. He didn't say anything about Floyd. So then, it was revealed that Keeping It Real 227 was the one who not only was dragging CJ, but did it because of the fact that he set the fire and wanted to get the heat off him, no pun intended, and he got arrested. So CJ is vindicated, because all that traction online could be bad and get back to the commissioner, which is a bad look on him as head of the firehouse. So in a way, he's like, well, fine, I'm vindicated. What about the leaf blower? You could expect it in 4 to 5 days. Part of me is like, CJ, I feel like he should have apologized to Floyd, because of the fact that not only did you assume the worst out of one of, your family, but you just, pretty much assaulted him verbally in front of the family during a game night. I feel like you could argue, well, Jeremy, I guess the apology was canceled out because Floyd did mess up his leaf blower and didn't tell him about it, but he did get him a new one. But I do think CJ should have gave him an apology. I feel like Miranda should have given Laura one. I'll get to that in a second, but I do feel like CJ, he should have apologized. I think that was pretty messed up that you automatically assume CJ would do that to you, especially when he knows how hard you work at the fire, station for years, and not to mention you almost lost your life, towards the beginning of the season. Well, technically the ending of last season, but yeah, I think that it reminded me of that episode. I forgot which one this season, but it was when like Calvin and Ella went in on Floyd for like leaving a crack in the window because of CJ's like funky ailments to help him, get better in the car, and then they got broken into. So Calvin lost his tablet. Floyd lost CDs. I think Ella lost some something. She was trying to fix some ingredients for something. But then at the end of the episode, they all apologized to him and made right. But I think CJ should have apologized. I really do. Then the final scene is Miranda and Laura in the kitchen. Laura thinks they should talk. Miranda's like, I don't think we should. But Laura's like, it wasn't my intent nor Calvin's intent to hurt you. And I was wondering if there was somewhere down the line where we could be friends again. She says no, but apparently we'll always be family. I did not like this. No. For me personally, I feel like things really went bad the moment Ella didn't decide to like let Miranda go. Tell her to leave. I feel like if you have accepted, Calvin and Laura being engaged, it just seems ridiculous to me that Ella would not even for a second. She's like, well, family's family. You don't consider what it's like for your son? You don't consider what it's like for his fiance? To sit there, like, not once did Ella react when, you know, Calvin and Miranda were, you know, buddying over their old history during that game, and Laura got up and walked out. I didn't see Ella go after Laura. This is leading to me, you know, I mentioned this before in videos. This is my fear, that Miranda and Calvin will get back together, more than likely because Laura will just say, you know what, this isn't going to work out, you know, because you're always going to have a history from Miranda, you're so close and yada yada. Because based off how Ella's acting, I feel like she would give Calvin hell if he doesn't want Miranda at you know, him and Laura's wedding. Because why the hell would he? Because there's an upcoming episode where Miranda doesn't want their son participating in the wedding, probably like ring bearer or whatever. Bet money the day of the wedding is going to show up. And if Miranda shows up and Calvin rightfully wants her gone, Ella's going to be like, no. She is Ella, sit down somewhere. She's like, you know what? This is my roof and I'm the parent. That has nothing to do with this, Ella. Miranda is not your ex-wife. She's the mother of your grandchild, yes, but this is just ridiculous how they wrote the character. I know a lot of people online, where's Curtis and whatnot. Now, I don't think Curtis is required. Floyd fills in the role just fine. Curtis would have been the comedic voice of reason, like, you know what, I'm with Calvin, you know, let's throw her out. I think for me, this really hurt the episode because it felt like season 9 Miranda again, because for the life of me, this woman cannot read the room. She could not read the room. I can understand her being hurt, like, you're having family game night without me? I get that. So if she would have left the banana pudding and left kind of distressed, that would have been one thing. And Ella could have had like a pep talk with her, you know, like in the backyard. That would have been great. If she came in, realized what was going on, and she's like, hey, I'll just drop this off in the kitchen and be on my way. And then Ella went after her just to talk. I think that would have worked. But for her to not only intrude on this game night, make things awkward for her ex-friend and Calvin's current fiance, and then have the nerve to not only, you know, kind of sidestep Laura's unnecessary apology, but then say, you know what, no, we're not friends. And then I hate it because this season was doing so well. I said, wow, the first episode of season 10, it's like a whole new Miranda. I like this Miranda. I haven't had a problem with Miranda this entire season. But then this episode showed up. I don't know who was worse. I don't know who was worse, Ella or Miranda. I couldn't tell. Seriously, these two are something else. And like I said before, I could see it now. Laura and Calvin might break up at some point, and it's going to be due to the fact of Miranda. Some way, shape, or form, you know, Laura, because, you know what, I'm never going to have all of you because of Miranda. You have a child together. That didn't bother me at first, but that's always going to be the link that makes her family. And, I really wish we would have gotten another episode with Laura and Miranda together before this, because it really would have established their dynamic. Like, you know, the episode that ended with the cliffhanger of Miranda going over to the loft and then seeing Laura and Calvin kissing. Like, I really wish we knew what happened after that to establish, you know, where the friendship truly went downhill. Because remember, when Laura was first brought over to the Payne household and then found out about Miranda and Calvin, she decided to just leave and then come back. So what happened? I don't know. But me against the world. Is that CJ against the world in regards to the internet? I mean, I don't know, because it certainly didn't seem like it was Miranda, because I just feel like she was the one who just came up in there. And I'm not saying, you know, because I think that she honestly did not know about the game night. I want to be honest here. I think that she genuinely did not know, based off of, you know, her reaction. Even though, you know, with the whole Ella thing and banana pudding, I'm still suspect, but I'm willing to believe that she had no idea what was going on, because her reaction felt genuine in terms of being hurt that she wasn't invited. But she's the gum on the bottom of Calvin's shoe, and I feel like him and Laura could be married in a house together or a loft, wherever they live, and Miranda's just going to constantly be barging in. For me personally, I think Ella is the enabler. She's still family. Tell him how you feel. Calvin has moved on. Calvin has moved on. And Ella is just entertaining this. I'm sorry, but I do not like Ella. As of late. Because like I mentioned before, every time Janine would pop up, it's like Ella would constantly disregard how CJ felt. And I feel like you could argue that Janine had more of a right to receive help because she really had it bad. And also the fact that, CJ and the kids were living with Ella and Curtis. So, Ella had a front row seat to how not having their mother around was affecting the kids. And not only that, I will say Ella does leave a good impression on like the likes of Janine and Miranda because they came back to get help from her. But overall, I just feel like in some ways Ella allows her holy and sanctified attitude do more harm than good to her family. But really, that's all I gotta say. You can let me know if I'm too hard on the episode, but I really do feel like Miranda was the one who was completely out of line. And if she doesn't want to be big enough to be friends, that's okay. And I can understand that, like, you get a divorce and your besties dating your ex. I get that, but if you don't want to be friends, but this was not a good episode for her. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Donate to the channel if you like on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I'll talk to you in the next one.